What's up, guys? Go back to a video, and we just got the release of Moon Knight episode 2 on Disney Plus, and it was amazing, and it was so good. We actually get more of a dynamic relationship and more of a Mark and a Layla in this episode, and we have more of a Khonshu and more of Arthur Harrow and what the purpose of the king that he uses, and plus the purpose of that Scarab as well, and especially for the ending, though, that I totally sets up the next episode, episode 3 as well. What's the purpose of the future of the show, like going forward as well. So in this video, this will be my full breakdown of Moon Knight episode 2, going over all the Easter eggs or things they may have missed in this episode that I could, and stuff that could connect to future episodes in the show as well. But if you haven't seen episode 2, this is gonna be your spoiler warning. If you're trying to avoid spoilers, and I think you should probably click on this video now and come back to this video after you've seen the episode. But if you're still here and you don't care, let's get into it. Episode 2 was up with a creature roaring, and then we see Stephen Grant, and then we see that he's like handcuffed to his bed, like with his own leg, and then like falls on his face, and then he opens up the mirror and says like, "Are you still there?" And he says, "No." I think he is talking to a Mark Spider, and it's in that I caused and all the thing that I caused probably at the end of last episode. And then we see Stephen going into the museum, and then we see JB, and then we see like cover like the whole crime scene and the whole thing that like Mark Spector did, or aka Moon Knight did, with the caution tape. And then like Stephen tells JB took over the security footage from last night, and then we see him go over the security footage with Stephen like being chased, which revealed to be a Egyptian jackal. And then we see him running, and then we see that it isn't real, like it's on Steven sees it, it's on the security footage, which like with the jackal, it's not real. And then after that, like he like comes out, and then we see Mark Spector as well, and then we hear Steven saying like that's not him, which like the whole thing was real. So I think that the whole thing is real when like Steven that's like Mark's body. And then as we see Mark just staring into the security camera, this is exact reference from the events of WandaVision episode 5, when Wanda shut down the camera from source perspective when they were trying to sneak up on her, and from episode 8 as well, from when Wanda was trying to resurrect Vision. And then we see Stephen in someone's office, and then like someone hands him a pamphlet and says like people can like help him, especially for like a therapist or something like that. And then they talk about how like Stephen needs to go like he sees some help after what happened with him, especially with the Mark Spector as well. And then with that person like or a therapist, and it's a property that like Stephen is in over, which though it's everything that like Stephen got from the museum, including the keychain and with the cell phone, and including the tag that says Stephen. And then we see Stephen going into a place that represents that keychain, and then he says to that person at the front desk that he needs to go to storage, a locker. It's like a storage unit of like a room, the number 443. And now with the number 443, this is like a reference in like an Easter egg too of Avengers Comics issue 43 in both of the volumes. And then we see him going into the storage unit, and then we see him looking into the bag. It's also like a gym bag, and then we see him like going through some stuff, and we see like a passport, a gun, and then we see the Scarab in there, which he says it is real. And now, what is a passport? I think I went over that in another Moon Knight video, and then we see like what is a passport, and it says like that he did know this survive the blood. And then we see a Stephen talking to Mark, and see to reveal what Mark really is. And then with Mark, he says he's like that Mark serves as his Khonshu, and that he is his avatar. And then we see Stephen leaving though with a gym bag, and then we see him running from a Khonshu in a hallway, and then we see Khonshu saying to Stephen, "I give it back, you fool." And then we see Stephen and Layla have a conversation, but with Layla, he refers to Stephen as a Mark Spector, as Layla hasn't had any contact with Mark for months, ever since what happened back in episode 1 from that phone conversation. And then with Layla, he gives Mark right back to Steven's apartment, and then with Layla, she knows how to get in touch or get in track of Mark and to lead him back into his apartment. And then we see Steven and Layla going into Steven's apartment, and then we see Layla just trying to go through and to see what Steven has, and then she sees that Steven has though sand on the side of his bed, and then we see a cuffling there as well, and then we see a book named Hieroglyphics, and then with Steven he goes through the bag to see what Layla, because he shows Layla what was in the bag, including for the Scarab, and then we see Mark and Steven talking. And then the Mark he reveals to Steven that he can to tell or show Layla what's in the bag. That means that everyone will come after it, and that he's responsible for it. And then we see that the cops coming into Steven's apartment and also investigating the bag as well. And then we see him going to do it, and then it revealed to be a fake passport, which to be Mark Spector, which it is a Steven Grant, and then he's to take it in. Then we see Steven in the back of the cop car, which the cops will investigate what Steven did, but as a Mark Spector, and then they revealed that with the Mark Spector, he fought a couple of guys or a couple of archaeologists just as well, and then the Mark he zip tied and probably they'll kill him back in Egypt. What I was saying, I mean it's pretty dark. With the Steven, even though it's Mark Spector, he did all that stuff just for the Scarab to keep it to himself, which I think Layla was referring to back in Steven's apartment. And then we see Steven, which he thinks he's going down to the police station, and then we see that the cops are part of Arthur's cult as well, and then we hear Arthur's recording on in a car that says Steven Grant from the gift shop, and then we see Steven and Mark as Steven is going through all this stuff, and then we see Steven fleeing out of the car, and then we see Arthur Harrow there, and then he reveals that he can help Steven though with his problems. And then we see Arthur taking Steven to the tour of his homeland, and then with Arthur he reveals that with Khonshu, he's her former avatar, and then he reveals that with Khonshu that he's done those terrible things, and they must resurrect her, and that leads them straight to Ahmed's tube, which everything is revealed in the last episode, but I'll get to that in a bit. And then we learn the purpose of what Arthur's cane really is, and that it is revealed to be the Ahmed's gift of her first avatar, and then he reveals in it is the sliver of her power, and then Arthur he reveals that he doesn't want to use it. And now with Arthur, he has Steven to give him the Scarab, and now with the Layla, it reveals that she has it, and then we see Arthur using the cane or its power in full use, and then we see the Egyptian jackal, and then with the Layla, he has Steven to march into summon the suit, and then after he does that, the jackal breaks in, and then we see him fall out the window, and then we get the full reveal of the Mr. Knight suit. And then we see Mr. Knight, who looks like he's about to fight the Egyptian jackal, and then we see him out on the street getting hit by a car, and then we see Mark in the window, and when Steven said that he finally needs his help, and then we see the full Moonlight transformation on Mark or Mark Spector, and it looks totally sick at the way that the mask goes on, and then we see the full Moonlight suit in action as well, and then the Layla she notices Mark for what he is, or of course Moon Knight and Mr. Knight, and then we see a bus that says the GRC, and it says for the Global Repatriation Council, which is all thought the MCU, and plus we also saw this in the Falcon and Winter Soldier, and with the Eternals as well, and plus with the Moon Knight, I think it takes place like a few moments in the timeline, we see the GRC on the bus. And now with this ending, we see a Moon Knight in a full Moon Knight suit, and fighting against the Egyptian jackal, and then he kills him straight in it's a pole or something on on top of a building, and then we see one of the moon boomerangs are being used, and then next we see Arthur Harrow using the Scarab to use what it's called, and then with Layla, she notices Arthur what he's really doing, and Layla's gonna do something about it, and then we see Mark Mark and the Steven like having a conversation with Steven. He reveals to Mark that like he kills people and that he is a liar, and then now we see or Mark we're breaking through a mirror, and then with the Khonshu, he reveals to Mark that he should not interfere, and that they want to go after the Scarab in the Ahmed's tub. And then the final scene is with a shirtless Mark Spector as he's waking up in Egypt. And now I think with this, I think in the next episode we're probably gonna see Ahmed's tub from here. Maybe I think is like a sixth episode, especially with Mark wake up in Egypt, especially with a Khonshu as well. And yeah, with the episode 2 of I think I really enjoyed the show. I mean, with the show, it's so good. I think this is my favorite MCU show so far in 2022. It's gonna get more crazy, especially though with the ending in Egypt. I think we're gonna see Ahmed's tub probably in the next episode as well, and probably explore more about that Scarab and more about like Kane with the plot. It's gonna get even more and more crazy, especially with the next episode. Episode 3, of course. So I really enjoyed episode 2, and I can't wait for episode 3, as the show contains it gets so good, and it gets better and better every time. So yeah, I can't wait for episode 3. Like I really enjoyed, especially the relationship between Layla and Mark Spector, of course, and plus with that dynamic relationship and going as well, especially more of a Khonshu as well, and with all that as well. So that's gonna be your first review. Love thoughts and comments down below, and what are your thoughts on Moon Knight episode 2? Give me a rating between 1 out of 10. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe and turn on notification bell for future videos, and you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter for live updates. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.